The original Dropkick Murphy, episode 103. I am Rod Murphy, and this is Growing Up Poor in Irish Boston, a series of my 1950s era Irish and Boston history, songs, poems, jokes, and stories. If you are from Boston and have different music tastes than me, and if you were a Dropkick Murphys band fan, then you would know the song I'm Shipping Up to Boston by the American Celtic Punk Band. When that song is played, whether at a pub or at a football game, you would join in with every other knothead around you in screaming the "Whoa!" I must be an old fart and need to be educated because I don't get it. With that introduction, let me educate you about the original Dropkick Murphy. While the Dropkick Murphy name is popular and their music is well known, most don't realize that the name actually has another, earlier Boston history. That history resurrects a doctor, a wrestler, and a real Boston character, all of those named, what else? Dropkick Murphy. As far as I know, my Murphy family was not related to Dropkick Murphy's family. Murphy is the most popular Irish name. There are millions of us, God forbid. Once, in Lynn, my former business partner, my lawyer, and my friend Al Cook once introduced me to his grandfather. He had been born in Ireland. The old Mick looked at me quizzically after the introduction, and with his brogue and without a smile, said, "There's more Murphys than fly shit." That's true, but maybe a little exaggerated. Dr. John Dropkick Murphy made a name for himself in the world of professional wrestling during the 1930s and 1940s. While Murphy's wrestling career was about beating ring opponents, his other career was devoted to helping people. Murphy put himself through medical school and became a doctor of osteopathy, then opened a detox center called Bellows Farm in Acton, which was colloquially known as Dropkick Murphys, where men could get sober. The farm also served as a training facility for athletes with a boxing ring and a gymnasium. Pardon this short break. I hope you are enjoying my Growing Up Poor in Irish Boston podcast. If you like this episode, please subscribe. It's free and helps to get my messages to more folks. No animals were injured or killed in the making of this podcast. And now back to our episode. Dorchester native Emily Sweeney wrote a book about Murphy called Dropkick Murphy, A Legendary Life, unquote. Sweeney wrote, quote, "So they called him Dropkick Murphy because that was his trademark wrestling move. The guy could jump up, hit somebody in the face with 2 feet, and then very often land right back on his 2 feet, unquote." Sweeney learned of Murphy while having lunch at an Acton, Mass. Restaurant called the Crossroads Cafe. She overheard other diners talking about Dropkick Murphy's farm. She first thought they were discussing the band, but no, they were talking about Dr. John Dropkick Murphy, the professional wrestler. They were discussing Murphy's farm, which of course was called Dropkick Murphys. That became the namesake for the 1996 founded Dropkick Murphys band. Dr. John Dropkick Murphy opened a detox fitness center that he called Bellows Farm in Acton, where alcoholics would sober up and athletes would train. He treated clients including, according to legend, celebrities from the sporting world and the entertainment world of Boston and further afield, such as Jackie Gleason. He operated it from the 1940s through 1971, a few years before Murphy died in 1977. Popular radio personality and newspaper columnist Howie Carr occasionally references Dropkick Murphy's sanatorium, sometimes in jeering reference to the drinking habits of the latter-day Kennedy family, a particular target for Carr. Sweeney should have asked me about it. My father, Tom Murphy, had many friends, some of whom were Irish and had drinking problems, or, as the joke goes, a drinking man with an Irish problem. Some of those friends had been to Murphy's Drying Out Farm, as my father called it. Murphy's Farm also served as a training facility for athletes with a boxing ring and a gymnasium. I think my uncle Neil Murphy, a chiropractor and a former football player, therefore they had similar backgrounds, knew Dropkick Murphy, but not as a client. Once I was driving with my father out into the boonies, north and west of Boston. We drove past Dropkick Murphy's farm at 42 Davis Road, and Dad pointed it out to me. He then told me a long story about his boozy friend, one of his boozy friends, a court-appointed internment there. There is, according to some, a proclivity among Micks to become addicted to alcohol. Regarding that point, to my knowledge, not one of my blood relatives ever had that problem. Maybe lots of other problems, but not booze. Unfortunately, Sweeney missed some colorful details for her book by not quizzing me. Dr. John Dropkick Murphy was a legendary Boston Irish character. He joins many other Hibernian legends in my hometown of Boston. Signed, sealed, and delivered.